Hello and welcome to this Android development tutorial. This is part 3 of how to make a gallery app for Android. In this tutorial we will add more features and UI elements to our Android gallery application. Okay, so in the previous tutorials we were able to list the files in the pictures directory and then show them in the screen using a list view and adapter we created ourselves. In this tutorial, the first thing we will do is to expand those functionalities. For that, we will set the content or the paths that we find, but this time we will cover more directories other than just the pictures directories. Okay, so we want to do it in the method. Basically, this is getting the pictures, then it's listing the files, getting the length, and all of this. Okay, so we want to add more directories, so we will create a method which will be private void list images, or maybe add images from would be a more descriptive name. So add images from, and here we will pass a string. Okay, so string string, this will be our path. Okay, it will be actually our directory path. Okay, great. So inside this thing right here, to make this look better, we will move this private boolean flag below the add images from method. Okay, so right now the images from method function will be to list the directories right here and add all the image files it finds to a global variable. So which will be the global variable? Well, this one right here, the files list. So we will move this and create it as a global variable right here. And here we, instead of using final, we will just use a private list string file list new array list. Okay, and we will initialize these from the Java code. So right here on resume method, we will say files list, and we assign this to new array list. Okay, so I have two assignment operators. So now we have these right here, and we want to add all the files we need. For example, how we will do this, for example, we will call add images from, and we will have to pass a path. So the first path we will pass will be the pictures directory we already used in the previous tutorials. So we will go and say add images from directory pictures, as you can see. Okay, and what this will do, the method, so all of these right here, okay, these lines I'm selecting, I will move that to the add images from method. Okay, I will move right here. What this is doing is saying create an image directory where, so we have to set it to dir path. Then it lists the files in that path, and then if those files are images, it will add them to the list. So here we have a suggestion that will say us to replace for with for each. We can do it to make it cleaner. Okay, like that, and that means we don't need these files counter. Clean up a bit the code. So that's why these IDEs are really useful for us. Okay, so we call these, we add the path, and we are kind of filling our files list array. Okay, So we added the path from pictures. Now we will add the path of downloads, for example. So we're going to go below these, and right here we're going to say the same, but we will change from directory pictures to directory downloads. Okay, we can go and do it more directories. For example, the directory dsim, which is the directory in where the pictures we take with our camera app are stored. So we're getting the pictures, which is kind of the default. We're getting the downloads if we download images from the internet, and we're also getting the dsim folder, which is where the images from camera are stored. Okay, so now we have those, but we are not sure this works, so we will test it and we will run it in order for us to see if it lists the files or not. So I am compiling it and hopefully running it well. So I will switch to the emulator now. You can do it in an emulator or a real device, it doesn't really matter. So now I'm switching right here, and as you can see, here we have the pictures listed on our list view, which means what we did is working great. Now, a gallery function, core function, is to show your pictures, and this is working. Okay, so these are random pictures I downloaded from the internet. So okay, if we go back to our IDE, we can say what else can we add to this, and maybe we can add some bars and buttons, UI elements, and all that kind of stuff. To do that, we will go to our activity main.xml file, and before the list view element, we will create a linear layout that will have a top bar for our gallery application. The width will be set to match parent. The height will be set to something like 50 dp. We can adjust it later, don't worry. The orientation will be set to horizontal, and that's pretty much it. Inside this element, this linear layout element, we will start creating buttons. So the first button will have a width of 0 dp, the height of match parent, okay, and the weight of 1. And we will create more buttons as well. So this is the first one. We maybe create 4. I don't really know the exact functions yet, but we will be figuring out as we need them. Okay, so we have 4 buttons right here, and now I will run the app again to see if it's working as we want. So let's see. Compiling, running. Okay, now it's sending the APK, installing, and here we have 4 buttons at the top. Of course, they do nothing because they are not set, but we will be doing some UI changes mainly in this video, so it will be also nice if we have another bar like this at the bottom of the screen to add more functionality. Okay, so we'll go to the bottom of the screen, so Control copy, and we will go to the bottom, and after list view we will paste these, and we will run to check that everything is working as we want. So we go to the emulator, and we now have these 2 bars right here that are showing one before the images and one after the images. In total we have 4 buttons. Okay, that's cool, but we have to add some features to these buttons. Maybe the top bar will show something about the image. Maybe it will show the name of the image. So we will have to create a way of doing it. So we're gonna go, and before everything we will create a text view that will show the name of the image, of the current image that's been kind of focused by the system. But we have to remember here that the list view focus different different images at the same time. So what happens if we have an image right there? So which of them will be shown as the name? So something better that we can do is to, when we click on an image, and when we long click on an image, we can see its name. Okay, I think that's a cool feature. So we're gonna go and create a text view right here. So text view, the width will be much parent, the height will be wrap content, and we will add an ID to this. The ID will be image name. Okay, because this will display the image name. Now we go to our main activity.java, and right here we have to know when an image is long pressed. For that we will create a long click listener on a list view. So after we set the adapter, we're gonna say list view dot set on item click listener and new on item click listener, and inside here this method will be called when a view is clicked. But we don't want that, so I forgot this. We want to long click, so instead we're gonna say pretty much the same, but list view set on item long click listener new on item long click listener. Okay, and inside here this method we will call when we long click an image. So when we long click an image, we want the text view to be shown. For that we will define the text view just before this long click listener. So we're gonna say final text view image name. So remember to import the text view library, and image name will be find view by ID r.id that image name, as you can see right here. And of course when we long click these, we want to show image name. So as default we go back to our XML file and we will hide these as default. So we will set it to visibility gone. Okay, we go back to our main activity Java, and when we long click an item of the list, we will say please show the name of the image. Please show it. So first we have to show the text view that contains the name. So we're going to say image view that set image name that set visibility to visible. Okay, so this will show the field that contains the image name. Okay, now how can we get the actual image name, you know? So to get the image name, we will get which item of the list was clicked. So we're gonna say and get it. So we're gonna say image name that set text, and we will set text to list our list. What's our list? Files list. So files list that get, and we will get position. Okay, we will run the app to check if we now have the name of the image when we long click on it. Okay, so we are running the build and installing APK, and right now I will long click this first image, and as you can see at the top we have the path of the image and the name, which is great. Now there's some information up here that is not that useful for us. So of course the name and the extension are useful, and maybe even the folder that contains it, but these other root elements are not really useful for us, so we will get rid of them. Okay, so how we will get rid of them? So we, instead of setting text to the whole thing, we will set it to a substring, and the substring will start in in a place in which we want it to start. So it will start right here. Okay, so how do we know that? Okay, we will have to get rid of the other stuff. So first we will get the directory, kind of the pure directory, you know, and we will clear everything else. Okay, so the thing we want to do, if we want to just show the file name, which is a simpler solution, we will just have to set substring and files list that get position that last index of, and here we will set a /. So we will run this right now and check if that works or not. Okay, I am compiling and running the app. I long click on the image, and as you can see, I only have this download.jpg. That's the name. So let's see, we don't want this previous slash. What we do to delete it, we will just add 1 to this. So we're going to say add 1, and we will check that the substring we created is working. And I long click, and now I have only download.jpg. So something nice would be if this will be at the center. So we will change the gravity to center. We go to our activity main.xml, and the text view right here, we will set gravity center. We will run the app again and check if now this download is placed on the center. So long click, and now as you can see, it is placed on the center, which is cool. Okay, we may want to also change how this feels, how this looks. Maybe we like dark themes. I do. So I will go and set the background to black. So background, and we haven't defined the color yet. So to define the color, we open up res, values, and colors. As you can see, there are some colors already defined by default by the IDE. So here we will create another color. We will call it black. Black. And here we will define it as a number sign followed by 6 zeros. As you can see, that's black. Now we go into activity main, and in background we will set this to black. But if we set it to black, then nothing will be able to be understood here. So we have to change the color of the text. So we'll create another color, and we will call it color light text, for example, because it's like text. Okay, and the color we will create won't be kind of not that white, because we don't really need that much brightness. So the maximum white is 6F. So to create a kind of a not that powerful, if you want to call it that way, white, not that pure white. So we're going to create a more, you know, easier for the eyes experience. So we're going to go and say we will do it with B's. So we're going to say and type 6 B's after this, kind of a light gray or something. Okay, now we go to our activity main.xml, and here we're going to set the text color element to light text. I will run the app to check if these aesthetic changes took effect. Okay, so it's building, running, and now long click. As you can see, we have here. Now we may want to make this a little bit more brighter without going all the way up to FFF. So to do that, we go to colors and redefine from B maybe to D or E. So we go and say 6 E's. This really depends on what you like, okay? So for now, I think this is a lot better for me, which kind of makes sense of what I want. So if I long click, that's what it happens. But now if I long click, let's see if I long click another one. Okay, you can see this other name right here. Okay, if I click another one, You can see it right here, and as you can see every name. Now, when I long click them, that's how I see them. Now, what happens if we want to change the name of this thing? So for that, we will have to create a rename button and all that functionality that will enable us to change the name of a thing. Something else that we can also do is maybe delete. Of course, we should be able to delete an image if we don't like it. On delete, or maybe even share with our social media account. So we will create all of those buttons right here at the top. We can improve the functionality later, but for now we will just kind of define them. We can open the preview to see our changes a little bit faster right here. As you can see, here's my preview. You can make it a little bit larger in order for us to see better. Okay, so if we go to the first button right here, this button, for example, will be the rename button. So the ID will be rename button, and as text we'll have rename. Okay, great. The next button could be delete button, for example. ID delete button, and as text it will have delete. Okay. The next could be share. ID share button, and the text, oops, I placed the ID wrong, sorry. ID share button, and as text it will have share. Okay, so we have three functions right now, three kind of functionality: to rename the image, to delete the image, and to share the image, which are basically all of that. And we maybe want to add another button that will enables us to know some information about the app. We'll call it show info, and as text show info. Maybe the path, apart from the name, the size, the date in which the photo was taken, or something like that. Instead of show info, we can just do it with info. We want to do it more elegant with just one word. So you have rename, delete, share, and info. Okay, so right now we've done that, but we want to show these only when it's needed. So we will set this visibility to gone, and we will set an ID. We'll call this top bar, as you can see, and we will show this only when we need to show it. For example, on long click. So we will initialize a view right here, final view, top bar, which will be assigned to find view by ID, r.id top bar. Okay. And apart from setting this text to these, we will also show the top bar. So it would be top bar set visibility visible. We will run the app to check that everything works as we want. We will see right now in the emulator. Okay, no top bar appears whatsoever. If we long click this, then we have the top bar and also the name of the image, which is great. So that's it for this video. In the next video, we will be adding more functionality and making those buttons actually work. And I see you later. Bye.